and welcome to Healthy Snacking Friday. While today's video is not a snack, we will be making some turkey chili. It is very cold here. It is very rainy, so this is just the perfect dish to let sit and cook all day, fill your house with delicious smells, and have it be ready later when it's time to eat dinner. So first, I'm going to be using my Instant Pot, but you can use this on the stove or you can use a slow cooker. I will be slow cooking today. So right now we're going to saute. So in a pot on the stove, you're going to add some garlic. And the great thing about this recipe is that it can be tailored to your tastes, to your allergies. So we like garlic. I usually add about a tablespoon of garlic. You can add more or less depending on what you like. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, like a tablespoon. And then I'm going to add in these onions. So this is a quarter of an onion, a large onion chopped or diced rather. And I'm just gonna put that in with the garlic and the oil. Whoops. And we're gonna stir that a little bit and just let it saute. So because we're making chili, I like our chili a little bit more flavorful and spicy. I'm also going to add a can of green chilies. Chili, when you're making it, can be made vegetarian, it can be made vegan, it can be made for whatever diet you're following. It can also be made with a lot of canned goods. So it's really good to kind of clear out your cabinet if you've got a lot of canned items. We're going to be using some canned tomatoes and some sauce, and then I have some salsa verde here too that I'm going to be adding. So right now we're just waiting for this to heat up a little. We want the onions to get translucent. So once that is cooked, I'm going to add the ground turkey. If you're making a vegetarian chili, just don't add the turkey. Just skip that step and go right to the step after, which is adding the vegetables. But because we are making a meat chili, you can add turkey, which I love turkey chili. I feel like it's a great way to cut out some red meat while still having a lot of protein and a delicious flavor. You can add ground beef if you want. You can also add tofu or your favorite meat substitute. So chili is highly customizable. So we're gonna pause and I'll come back when it's ready to have the meat added. So we've got a good sizzle going. I'm going to add 1 pound of ground turkey. It is thawed. It is not frozen. You could also add some fresh ground turkey, and I'm just going to cook it. It's being cooked in with the chilies, the onion, and the garlic. So I'll come back when that is done and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the meat is cooked, and now we're going to add all of our other ingredients. So you see here, I'm gonna put these over here. I have some vegetables prepped. I'm going to be adding carrots and mushrooms. So how I cut up the baby carrots, we like a chunkier chili. So I just chopped it. Be very careful of how you hold the carrots, but that's basically how I cut the carrots. And then for the mushrooms, I just quartered them. So I cut them in half, turned them, and cut them in half again. So now I'm gonna dump all of these vegetables, and this is about, let's say 4 large carrots and I don't know, a small container of mushrooms, but we like a vegetable heavy chili. So again, feel free to add any vegetables you like. Tailor it to what you want. If you don't like mushrooms, don't add them. If you want to add in some green beans or some corn or, you know, any other vegetables you like. I also make my chili low in carbs, so I can't have a lot of carbs or sugar, so I limit what goes in my chili, but it's still very hearty. All right, so we're still on saute. So this is now in the pot. So if you're using a crock pot, you can just add all of this into the crock pot. We're gonna go to slow cook in a minute, but I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. So 1 can of diced tomatoes with the juice. And we're gonna add some beef broth. If you're a vegetarian, you can add vegetable broth. So I use Better Than bouillon instead of the canned or jarred broth. I make my own broth. So I'm going to be adding 1 cup of water. So you need 1 cup of broth. So for the Better Than bouillon, I add it separately. So I add in my 1 cup of water. Oops. And then I add in the broth, and it tells you on the jar how much broth to add for how much water. And I give everything a little stir. There's only a little bit more broth, so I'm just gonna add the rest of that in. All right. Then I'm going to add in a little bit more water just to get all the chilies out of the can. Oops. I'm going to add in some taco sauce. This one's from Trader Joe's. Just for flavoring. Going to add in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm going to add in some salsa verde. And I kind of just eyeball this, so feel free, oh, it's a little stuck. Feel free to add in however much or little you want of each ingredient. Slow cooking it is gonna make it taste amazing no matter what you use. There we go. So just going to stir it up a little bit and pour some in. Going to add a little bit of hot sauce. We like Cholula. Feel free to add in whatever hot sauce you like, however much you like. It all depends on how spicy you want it. Now I'm going to add in some taco seasoning, 2 tablespoons. Doesn't really fit, so. The great thing about this too is that we can add to it as we go. So it's gonna be slow cooking for a few hours. So if I taste it in, you know, an hour or 2 and I feel like it needs a little bit more of something, I can add it in. All right, so I'm going to add in some marinara. You could, if you don't want to add this in, you could add in some more diced tomatoes or some fresh tomatoes. So I'm going to add in about half a jar. All right, stir that up. If you're using an Instant Pot, it doesn't really heat up tomato sauce if you pressure cook it that well. It usually burns. So I usually always either saute and slow cook, do a combination, or just go straight to slow cook and let it cook for about 6 to 8 hours. And then, because we like our chili spicy, I'm going to add in, if I can find them, some red pepper flakes. Excuse me. I don't know where they are. Pause while I please find them. Okay, so I'm just gonna sprinkle in some red pepper flakes because we like it spicy. I'm going to now just let this cook. I'm gonna let this cook for about 5 to 6 hours. Then I'm gonna add some spinach and let it cook for another hour, and it will be ready. So I'll post a picture along with this video of what it looks like when it is done. But when you're slow cooking in the Instant Pot, you want to put your lid on, hit slow cook, and then make sure the cap is venting. You don't want to seal it to make pressure. We're just going to let it slow cook in here. You can also use a glass lid if you have that as well. But now we're good to go. I'm going to put let's do 8 hours. All right, and that is it. This is going to form a delicious, chunky, healthy chili that we can enjoy for dinner tonight on this cold and rainy day. And it was very easy to put together, and now it's just gonna cook itself and I don't have to worry about it. If you're using a pot, you wanna cook it on low heat, covered, but venting a little. If you're gonna cook it in a slow cooker, again, you just put it all in the slow cooker, cover it, and you can cook it on high for 4 hours or low for 8 hours. And that is it, super easy, one of my favorite meals to make. And it's really delicious. You can tailor it to however you want. Some people might want to add different veggies. Some people might want to add rice. Some people might want to add beans. So you can tailor it to however you choose. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.